Dartmouth and the Beacons of UMass Boston. It's time to meet the starting lineups first for the Corsairs. Leading off the right fielder, number 15, Rachel Pereira. Batting second, the center fielder, number 10, Nicole McSweeney. Batting third, the left fielder, number 6, Kylie Fletcher. Leading up, the designated player, number 22, Jill Richards. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 3, Autumn Medeiros. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 16, Lindsay Chubbuck. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 11, Sierra Sheeran. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 27, Avery Swords. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 1, Leah Major. Pitching for the Corsairs, number 25, Anna Kerwood. The head coach of the Corsairs is Amy Sasson, assisted by Bob Baker, Shannon Orton, and Bob Huckabee. Now the starting lineups for the Beacons of UMass Boston. Leading off, the shortstop, number 3, Gigi Braga. Batting second, the third baseman, number 13, Ari Bellata. Batting third, the right fielder, number 15, Taylor Paulina. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 9, Roxanne Bento. Batting fifth, the designated player, number 14, Alyssa Tully. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 12, Kira Pressmack. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 21, Tori DeCenzo. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 5, Giovanna Bonilla. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 8, Kelly Danahy. The designated player, pitching for the Beacons is number 2, Jess Greenspan. The head coach of UMass Boston is Natalia Ardagna, assisted by Josh Bartley and Sue Killalay. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
From UMass Dartmouth and Dartmouth, Mass., this is Day 3, Game 8 of the 2019 Little East Conference Softball Tournament between the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs and the UMass Boston Beacons. Good morning, everybody. I'm Sam Feely, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. Well, these two schools combined for 1 hit in 14 innings yesterday in the process of being forced to the brink of elimination in the first game of action today. UMass Dartmouth managed 3 walks against Alexis Brown of Southern Maine in a 4-0 loss yesterday, and UMass Boston managed just 1 hit and 1 walk against Eastern Connecticut's Morgan Baldock. And the offense is going to have to wake up for both teams here if they want to survive and advance in the Little East Conference Tournament. UMass Boston will be the home team for this game, and they have taken the field in the all-black jerseys with blue sleeves and blue letters and numbers. And here's the starting lineup. for the visiting UMass Dartmouth Corsairs. Rachel Pereira is going to lead it off in right field, followed by Nicole McSweeney in center. Kylie Fletcher is in left. Jill Richards is the DP. Autumn Medeiros is at third. Lindsay Chubbuck is behind the plate. Sierra Sheeran is at first. Avery Soares is at second. And Leah Major rounds out the lineup at short. In the circle for UMD today is Anna Kerwood. Kerwood on the season, 8-4, the .262 ERA. In 66 2/3 innings, she's allowed 72 hits, 31 runs, 25 of which are earned, walked 11, and struck out just 18, allowed 12 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, opponents batting .274 against her. For the UMass Boston Beacons, their lineup looks like this. Gigi Braga is going to lead it off at short, followed by Ari Bellata at third. Taylor Paulina is in right. Roxanne Vento is behind the plate. Alyssa Tully is the DP. Kara Prusmack is in left. Tori DeCenzo is at first. Giovanna Bonilla is in center, and Kelly Danahy rounds out the lineup at second. In the circle for the Beacons will be Jess Greenspan. Greenspan, the ace of the UMass Boston staff, 15-9 with a opponent's batting average of .261. 19 complete games, 4 shutouts. And we are ready for the first pitch of day number 3, and the pitch hit. Wow. Rachel Pereira got hit with the first pitch of the ball game. So, Pereira aboard to begin the ball game on just the first pitch, and that'll bring up Nicole McSweeney, the center fielder. Didn't even give you time to tell you the numbers for Rachel Pereira this year. She's batting .286 with a .400 slugging percentage, 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Look at a bunt is McSweeney, and she takes strike 1. McSweeney batting .381 with a .405 slugging percentage, a .409 on base percentage, no home runs, 3 RBIs. Only 1 extra base hit on the season. That was a double. 0-1 the count, and the pitch is popped up, and it is out of the reach of the third baseman, Bellata, diving, trying to make the play on the pop-up bunt, and that'll make it 0-2. So McSweeney behind 0-2 with Pereira on first. The 0-2 taken all the way for strike. That should be strike 3, right? Oh, that was a ball. My mistake. Huh. No, that was strike 3. Okay, so they just haven't heard the public address announcer. Keep us up to date. Kylie Fletcher is in the box, and she took strike 1. This is grounded to the second baseman, onto the shortstop for 1, onto first. Throw pulls the first baseman DeCenzo off the bag, and that'll be a fielder's choice. 2 down. And that'll bring up Jill Richards, the DP. Richards takes the first pitch. The throw down to second is on the money. And Fletcher is caught stealing to end the inning. So half an inning in the books. UMass Dartmouth nothing. Corsairs coming up. Things happening fast and furious in the top half of the first inning. We had a first pitch hit by pitch, then a called third strike, a fielder's choice, and then a caught stealing. So Jess Greenspan faces the minimum in the top of the first, and we will go to the bottom of the first with Gigi Braga, Ari Bellata, and Taylor Paulina due up. This is the first of what could be up to 4 games today. Right after this one, we will have Eastern Connecticut against Plymouth State. Plymouth State needs a win to avoid elimination. So Gigi Braga will lead things off here in the bottom of the first. Braga batting .295 on the season with a .310 slugging percentage, a .393 on base percentage. And she is ahead 1-0. Righty against lefty here, and the 1-0 looking to butt her way on, runs inside, and she's ahead 2-0. Taken for strike one, and Kerwood is back in the count at 2-1. She's just got one extra base hit out of her 38 hits this season. That was a triple. The 2-1, here it comes. A running chopper back to the circle and throwing on to first is Kerwood for the first out of the bottom of the first. That'll bring up Ari Bellata, the third baseman. Bellata batting a stout .367 on the year with 8 doubles, a .456 slugging percentage, and 20 RBIs. Ball one. Bellata chops this one right back to the pitcher. She bobbles it. Bailed out by the third baseman, but safe at first is Bellata. And the junior from Leominster, Mass. reaches base safely. I think they're going to rule that a hit. So that'll bring up Taylor Paulina, the right fielder. Winters play batting .294 with 5 doubles and 13 RBIs. And she takes strike one. Paulina, senior utility player from Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Getting the start in right field, and she goes down and gets this one into right center field. It's out of the reach of the right fielder. Around second on her way to third is Bellata. She's being waved around third. The relay to the plate is offline, and taking third on the play, Paulina is thrown out, but the run scores, and UMass Boston out to a 1-0 lead. It's a double for Paulina.
Catcher number 9, Roxanne Bento.
And that hit Roxanne Vento. Well, that's probably one of the safer ways you can deal with Vento, as she has been the focal point of UMass Boston's offense this year, batting .392 with 4 homers, 34 RBIs, and an OPS of over 1050. Vento takes first on the hit by pitch. And it's runner at first, 2 down for Alyssa Tully, the DP, and she takes below the knees for ball 1. Tully batting .265, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 11 RBIs, .327 slugging percentage. And she gets tied up inside. Throw back to first, and back safely is the catcher, Vento. That's the third time Vento's been hit by a pitch this year. She's drawn 17 walks and 10 strikeouts. It's skied into center field, and making the catch is the center fielder, McSweeney, for the out that retires the side. So it could have been worse, but UMass Boston takes an all-important 1-0 lead after 1 inning. So I mentioned after this game we'll have Plymouth State versus Eastern Connecticut. Eastern Connecticut still alive, still undefeated in this tournament at 2-0. If Eastern Connecticut wins that game, then Eastern Connecticut will play the winner of this game, and Eastern Connecticut would have to win one of the last 2 to advance to the NCAA Division III tournament. These teams met in a doubleheader on April 2nd, UMass Dartmouth and UMass Boston, and they split those games with UMass Boston winning the first one 5-1, and then UMass Dartmouth winning the second one 10-2 in 5 innings. Jill Richards, the DP, to lead things off. She was at the plate when Kylie Fletcher was thrown out trying to take second. And first pitch is a strike, 0-1. 1-0 our score in the top of the second. RBI double as this is blooped into shallow right, and a snow cone catch there by the first baseman, DeCenzo, for out number 1. As I was saying, in the bottom of the first, we had an RBI double by Taylor Paulina and put the Beacons on top early in this game. Autumn Medeiros, the third baseman, fouls this one off, and it is strike 1. UMass Dartmouth in the navy blue jerseys with the white letters and numbers and white pants. UMass Boston in the black jerseys with blue sleeves and blue letters and numbers. Got thrown off a little bit because the the UMass Dartmouth dugout is chanting "Hey 3," but it sounds like Avery, and I was like, we haven't gotten to Avery Soares in the lineup yet. That misses inside, and the count is even at 1 to Autumn Medeiros, the third baseman for the Corsairs. Entering play, batting .254, the .358 slugging percentage, 1 homer and 7 RBIs. Takes one down the pipe, and it's 1-2. Medeiros has an on-base percentage of .375. Walked 12 times, struck out 14. Has 4 doubles in addition to that 1 homer. Two and two as the count evens again. Medeiros from nearby Swansea, Mass. Went to Case High School, as that is upstairs, and that fills the count to Autumn. Lindsay Chubbuck on deck, and if anybody gets on, Sierra Sheeran. This is skied into shallow right end with a little bit of a plie there. The shortstop, Braggy, makes the catch for out number 2. Not quite as balletic as the catch Andrew Benintendi made in the postseason last year, running into left field, but she's got the moves, and there are 2 down. First 2 retired. A couple of infield pop-ups, and here's Lindsay Chubbuck, the catcher. Chubbuck batting .191 with 10 RBIs, and she pops this one up, and it'll be caught by the catcher Vento. It's a 1-2-3 inning. All 3 outs, infield pop-ups, so Greenspan making quick work of the UMass Dartmouth lineup in this elimination game. 1-0 UMB after 1.5. We'll hopefully be able to get all 4 games in today with rain in the forecast. But then it's felt like rain's been in the forecast every day for the last 1,000 years. That's how long it's felt with this weather and this so-called spring. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, these teams combined for 1 hit and 4 walks in 14 innings of play yesterday, with UMass Boston falling 3-0 on a 1-hitter to Eastern Connecticut, and UMass Dartmouth getting no hit by Southern Maine 4-0, managing just 3 walks in the game. But the unfortunate thing is Southern Maine, after no-hitting and nearly perfectoing UMass Dartmouth, lost to Plymouth State in the very next game. And as such, Southern Maine was eliminated. So kind of an anticlimactic end there after such a dominant performance. As this is grounded and bobbled by the shortstop, Major. And the leadoff batter is aboard, Kira Prusmack. It's going to be an E6. That'll bring up Tori DeCenzo, the first baseman. DeCenzo takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. DeCenzo, the first baseman, batting .277 with 2 homers and 12 RBIs. She comes up empty, throw down to second, and safe with a stolen base is Prusmack. Prusmack picks up her 7th stolen base in 9 attempts. And she is in scoring position with nobody out, but an 0-2 count. This bounces to the plate, picked up by Chubbuck. Inside out swing, popped up, caught by the pitcher, Kerwood, for out number 1. Giovanna Bonilla, the center fielder, will step to the plate now, trying to drive in that second run of the game for UMass Boston. Bonilla, despite being the number 8 hitter, is a 376 hitter with a 391 slugging percentage, 11 RBIs. Throw down to third, and safe again. Oh, gutsy move by Prusmack taking third. It's now 1-0. And now the second run of the game for the Beacons just 90 feet away. 1-0 the count to Bonilla. Here comes Kerwood. Outside 2-0. Joey, as the UMass Boston dugout is chanting for her. The 2-0 takes a running start at that swing and fouls it off at the dish to make it 2-1. 1-0 our score. Leadoff batter Prusmack reached on an error. Stole second, took third on a low ball. The 2-1. High for ball 3. Chubbuck looks back Prusmack, but throwing ball 4 here wouldn't be the end of the world. It would set up the inning-ending double play. She gets strike 2 in there, and it's a full count. Number 9 hitter Kelly Danahy on deck. Elimination game, game 8 of the 2019 Little East tournament, and there is ball 4, and it is first and third, 1 out. First walk of the game issued by Kerwood, and that'll bring up Kelly Danahy, the second baseman. Danahy, 223 hitter, 286 slugging percentage, but 16 RBIs. So she comes through when it matters. Look at a bunt. Throw down to second. Well, actually, it'll be cut off by the pitcher, Kerwood, and that's going to be a stolen base for Bonilla. Probably better that Kerwood cut it off, because if it goes all the way to second, Prusmack's taking home. So second and third, double play out of the equation. The pitch is chopped foul at the dish, and that'll even the count at 1. So really, you're looking for a strikeout or a harmless infield pop-up if you're Kerwood right now. The 1-1 misses down and in, 2-1. You do not want to load the bases with the top of the lineup coming up next. On your home turf in an elimination game, and you're the away team. And it's going to be a squeeze play. The shuffle to home is off target, and here comes a second run. Now, on her way to third after the miscommunication on defense is Danahy. So the squeeze play scores 2 and puts Danahy at third. And it is 3-0. So that's going to invoke a conference in the circle, and the Corsairs cannot get rattled here. Down 3-0. Still only 1 out in the bottom of the second. So Gigi Braga will step to the plate with a runner at third. Still only 1 out in the inning. Braga grounded out to the pitcher, leading off the bottom of the first. And she runs up at this one and chops it foul at the dish for strike 1. Two runs home on a squeeze play. And this is chopped up the middle. They'll throw home. They got the runner at third in the hot box. She gets back safely. The throw goes into left field. And coming home to score is Danahy. Things are coming unglued for the Corsairs. Still only 1 out, 3 runs home here. And the Corsairs are going to get action warming in the bullpen. We had a bit of a miscommunication with the lineup. We had Anna Kerwood listed as the starter. She's actually now in the She's in the circle now. It was actually Jill Richards who got the start. Our mistake. Our apologies. So Jill Richards exits after 1 1/3 innings. Jill Richards entering play with a 2.91 ERA, 9-10, and she had the bulk of the work this season for UMass Dartmouth. And this is smoked into right field. It's caught by the right fielder Pereira, and taking third on the play is Braga, 2 down, as Bellotta is retired. So Kerwood now in the circle, replacing Richards. And that'll bring up Taylor Paulina. So Kerwood gets the first out on one pitch. That skips to the plate for ball one. And right now, warming for UMass Dartmouth is Kate McDonald. This is a hot shot to third, throw across the diamond to first for the out, but from Medeiros to Sharon. But the damage has been done. 3 runs, and they have chased the starter, Richards. 4-0 UMass Boston after 2.
Leading off for UMass Dartmouth, the first baseman, number 11, Shearer.
4 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left for UMass Boston. No runs, no hits, 4 errors, nobody left for UMass Dartmouth. Through 2 innings, and here is Sierra Sheeran, the first baseman, to lead things off for the Corsairs as they had their work cut out for them. Down 4 in an elimination game. Sheeran batting .272 on the season with 1 homer and 15 RBIs. Strike 1. Sheeran, Soares, and Major due up here for the Corsairs, bottom third of the order. And this is ricocheted foul off the screen to make it 0-2. Four errors by UMass Dartmouth have helped balloon this lead as this is swung on and missed, but the pitch gets away from the catcher Vento, and, well, the Corsairs will take base runners any way they can get them as Sheeran reaches on the strikeout and the wild pitch. And that'll bring up Avery Soares. Soares, the second baseman, batting .235 with 9 RBIs. Takes up and away, ball 1. She chops this one down the third base line foul, and that'll make the count 1-1, evening it up. Looked like it could have been a good start for UMass Dartmouth the way this game began with a first pitch hit by pitch. Then a strikeout, fielder's choice, and a caught stealing ended the top of the first, and then a 1-2-3 top of the second. Soares offers at it with that bunt and misses. Strike 2 to make it 1-2. In outfield playing fairly deep for Soares. And that's outside to even the count at 2. Sheeran at first after the strikeout of the wild pitch. Lined into right field and down for a base hit. And they might have the force at second, and they do! Oh, Sheeran got a slow start off of first, waiting to make sure that ball would be caught. It didn't, but a great reaction by the right fielder, Paulina, to retire Sheeran. So instead of a single, that's a fielder's choice. 9-4. One down for Leah Major, the shortstop. And she lines this one down the right field line. That is a foul ball. Owen won the count to Major. Major, a .210 hitter, 14 RBIs. Slugging percentage of .260, on-base percentage of .252. UMass Dartmouth, the host and number 1 seed here this 2019 Little East softball tournament, but facing elimination and down 4-0 here in the top of the third. She grounds this one up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Braga to second for 1, and the return throw will not be there. So it's a fielder's choice, 6-4. And the lineup turns over for Rachel Pereira. Pereira, as I mentioned, was hit by a pitch on the Major still at bat, excuse me. Still got Major at bat. I saw I guess they ruled the ball was foul at the dish. That is down and away. 2-1 the count. My mistake, folks. She lines this one into right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit, roll all the way to the wall. Around third, on her way home is Soares, and she will score. And UMass Dartmouth is on the board. It's 4-1. An RBI double for Leah Major. She gets the reprieve. First hit of the ball game. For the Corsairs. Now the infield's going to have a conference. And actually, it's not just the infield having a conference here. Natalia Ardania, the head coach of UMass Boston, is going out to the first base umpire to get a clarification on a call. I don't know if maybe there's a question if either Soares or Major missed the bag. Well, missed one of the bases while they were going around. Now Coach Ardania having a word with the home plate umpire, giving him an earful as she walks back to the dugout. She's obviously not satisfied with something. Could have been the maybe she thought like I did that they had a fielder's choice, should be runner at first, 2 down instead of a run home, and now runner in scoring position with only 1 down. And that is up and away for ball 1 to Pereira. Now it's Pereira at bat after all that confusion. Pereira was hit by the first pitch of the ball game, and she hits this one into center field. It'll be caught by the right fielder, Paulina. She rifles it back to third to prevent the tag of Major. Oh, that was a Vladimir Guerrero cannon if ever I saw one. Absolute strike to third to prevent the runner from advancing. So that's a loud out number 2, and that brings up Nicole McSweeney, who struck out looking her first time up. Takes strike 3, right. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Corsairs with their first hit and first run of the ball game here in the top of the third, but still trail by 3. They do have a runner in scoring position. This is chopped down the first base line, and so it looks like the inning is over. But I thought I saw the first base umpire signal foul ball, but apparently the first baseman DeCenzo did get the tag on McSweeney, so the inning is over. So we'll try to regain our bearings here as we go to the bottom of the third and make sure everybody's eyesight is correct. So, Anna Kerwood back in the circle, and Roxanne Bento takes down and away ball 1. Bento reached base in her first at-bat and takes strike 1 to even the count. Bento takes down and away, and she's ahead 2-1. Bento was hit by a pitch her first time up. And she is ahead 3-1. Certainly build that .466 on base percentage. She rifles this one into right field for a base hit. So Vento, with her reaches base for the second time. That is, interestingly enough, just the third hit for UMass Boston. But of course, 4 errors have helped the UMass Boston cause as they are up 4-1 here in the bottom of the third. Leadoff batter on for the second straight inning, and that brings up the DP, Alyssa Tully, who ended the first with a fly ball to center. And she takes up and away ball 1. Chubbuck cocks back the throw to first and back safely before she can even get the throw off is Vento. Up and away 2-0. This is chopped right back to the pitcher. She'll go to second for the force and get... No! Wow! They say the throw pulled Soares off the bag. So they don't get the fielder's choice. It's first and second. Nobody out. And Amy Sasson coming out to argue her case. So both coaches not happy with some early calls. And now the umpires are going to confer. Didn't look like the throw was that offline from here. Well, the throw might not have been offline, but did the second baseman Soares stretch her back leg enough to actually have contact with the second base bag? And the call stands. So, first and second, nobody out. And that'll bring up Kira Prusmack. Reach base her first time up in the second and ended up scoring the second Beacon run. And she gets a bunt down. It's fielded by the third baseman on to first, and the throw is off target. And in to score the run is Vento. And now we have to check on Prusmack. She's a little slow getting up. Wonder if she ran into the studs of the first baseman Sharon going into first base. So it is 5-1. First and third, still nobody out. And that'll bring up Tori DeCenzo. And she's going to try and bunt. The throw down to second is cut off by the shortstop Major. So it's a stolen base for Prusmack. Second and third, nobody out, and a 1-0 count to DeCenzo. Trying the squeeze play for the second time this game are the Beacons. And she chops this one down the third baseline, but that is foul. That'll even the count at 1. 2 errors this inning. 2 more errors on UMass Dartmouth. 5 runs on 3 hits for UMass Boston, helped out by 6 Corsair errors. The 1-1. Chubbuck tried to frame it, but it's 2-1. Tully at third, Prusmack at second. The pitch is high, ball 3. The number 8 hitter, Bonilla, is on deck. In there for strike 2 to fill the count. Kerwood came in relief. This is skied foul and out of play. As Chubbuck gave it a look. Kerwood came in relief after 1 1/3 innings by Jill Richards, allowing 4 runs, only one of which was earned. And that's high for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Cassidy Gata, sophomore from North Reading, Mass, is going to pinch hit here for Giovanna Bonilla. And UMass Dartmouth is going to use this opportunity to get another pitching change in. Geta with a 190 average with 1 homer and 11 RBIs. And Annika Evanson is going to take over in the circle for UMass Dartmouth. Evanson, 2-1 on the season with a 2.15 ERA, 13 innings pitched, allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 8, and struck out 10. Opponent's hitting just 119 against her with 1 double. And she is going to need those numbers to translate into an escape job here. Evanson, the junior from Lake Forest, California. So Cassidy Geta pinch hitting for Giovanna Bonilla. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the bottom of the third of an elimination game in the 2019 Little East softball tournament. And that gets in there for strike 1 from Evanson. Up and away for ball 1 to even the count. She comes up empty with a big cut swung over the top of it. And the count will be 1-2 with the second baseman Kelly Danahy on deck. Evanson, the third pitcher in 2+ innings for UMass Dartmouth. Skips that one to the plate, but no advance by the runners, and the count evens at 2. And she lines this one into right field. It skips it past the left field, skips past the left fielder. 1 run scores. Here comes another. Here comes a third. It's a 3-run bases clearing double by Cassidy Geta. The route is on. It's 8-1. And Cassidy Geta will get a rest after that big double, and she will be replaced at second base by Brittany Perkett. Kelly Danahy, what does she have in store? Still nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Outside for ball 1 to Danahy. Danahy 0 for 1. Reached on an error first time up. In there for strike 1. Does have an RBI. Looking to bunt, and the batter is out. I believe they just ruled interference. So Danahy retired. Finally, the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Gigi Braga as the lineup turns over again. Braga 0 for 2, and she comes up empty for strike one. Throw down to third, and safe. And my mistake, that's Bonilla back at on the bases at third. So 1-1 the count as Bonilla takes third on the stolen base. As that's popped up, foul, and out of play, and that'll make it 1-2. 8-1 our score, 1 run in the first, 3 in the second, 4 thus far in the third, 1 out, 1-2 the count to Gigi Braga, and Braga comes up swinging at this one, grounds it to second, but in to score from third is Bonilla. And it is 9-1. Base is empty now with 2 down.
Now batting the third baseman, number 13, Ari Bellotto.
Ari Bellotto takes high for ball 1. Bellotto walked and scored in the first and flew out to right in the second. Two and 0. In there for strike one. And Everson back in the count at 2-1. This is reach for, flared to second, where it is caught by Soares for the out that retires the side. But 5 more runs come across here in the bottom of the third, and UMass Boston on a roll at 9-1 after 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Little East Conference would like to thank its corporate partners, Chartwell's, who has a concession stand located on the grass area behind the third base bleachers, Hellstrom Tools, Squad Locker, the official online store of the Little East Conference, and thanks Remember for their support of the 2019 LEC Softball Championships.
Top of the fourth.
Leading off for today's visiting team, Corsairs, the left fielder, number 6, Kylie Fletcher.
3, 4, and 5 due up for the Corsairs. The heart of the order, Fletcher, Richards, and Medeiros. As they go against Greenspan, who's allowed 1 run and 1 hit through the first 3. As this is popped up into shallow right, and it's caught on the run by the second baseman, Danahy. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the fourth. So Fletcher now 0 for 2, and that brings up Richards, who popped up to first her first time up in the second. That's down and away for ball 1. Right after this game, we will have Eastern Connecticut against Plymouth State. Eastern Connecticut still undefeated in this Little East Conference tournament. Plymouth State looking to avoid elimination in that game. Down and in, but called a strike, and that evens the count at 1. You could see the shortstop, Braga, hopping for that call. That catches the inside corner. 1 and 2. Two and 2 actually is the count. This is skied into center field, coming towards us, and whoa, a diving running catch by the center fielder, Bonilla. That was headed right for our booth, directly behind center field, and Bonilla gave us an up-close and personal view of a fantastic defensive play, and there are 2 down. So that'll bring up Autumn Medeiros, as that is down and in for ball 1. In there for a strike 1. One and 1, the count to Medeiros, who popped up to short first time up. She lines this one into in a right center field, and this time it's the left center field rather, and this time it's the left fielder Prusmack who makes the catch. I got my directions flipped around because we're doing this from center field rather than from behind home plate. The side is retired 1, 2, 3, and we're halfway home, and UMass Boston leads 9-1. One defensive change for UMass Dartmouth, as Matteo Grizik, the senior from Norfolk, Mass., will take over in center field for Nicole McSweeney. 2, 3, and 4 due up for UMass Boston here in the bottom of the fourth. Ari Bellotta, Taylor Paulina, and Roxy Vento.
Leading off for the home team Beacons, the right fielder, 15, Taylor Paulina.
My mistake, Paulina leading off, not Bellotta. So Bellotta, Vento, and Tully, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Paulina reached base in the first and grounded out to third in the second, and that is lined towards the UMass Boston dugout for strike one. Nearly decapitating Coach Ardania. This is lined, caught by the third baseman, Medeiros, for out number one. So Medeiros has robbed Paulina twice. And that'll bring up Roxanne Vento. Hit by a pitch in the first, singled and scored in the third. And she lines this one into center field, and that'll get down in front of the new center fielder, Ogrizik, for Vento's second hit of the ball game. She is 2 for 2 and has reached base all 3 times.
Designated player, number 14, Alyssa Tully.
So that'll bring up Alyssa Tully, the DP. Scored, reached base and scored her last time up in the third. As it looks like there's action warming for UMass Boston, as that is upstairs for ball one. Nine 9-1 our score here in the bottom of the fourth. And Tully takes strike one. Throw back to first, and back safely is Vento. 1-1 the count to the DP, Alyssa Tully. From Lowell, Mass. Got tied up and in there. And it's 1-2. The 1-2 to Tully. Runs inside, nearly hits her, and it's 2-2. She reaches for this one, flares it into center field. Ogrizik makes the catch. And there's 2 down, rather. That'll bring up Kira Prusmack, the left fielder.
Left fielder, number 12, Kira Prusmack.
Prusmack is 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Runs up at this one and comes up empty for strike one. Prusmack has also stolen 3 bases. So she has wreaked havoc on the base paths her first 2 times up. Takes on the outside corner, 0-2. And Evanson, 1 strike away from a much-needed scoreless inning. And she gets it. Prusmack swung underneath it. The side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And the score is still 9-1 UMass Boston after 4. That strikeout of Prusnak, by the way, was the first strikeout for Corsair pitching today, and only the second strikeout of the game combined. As that pitch is up and away for ball 1 to Lindsay Chubbuck, the Corsair catcher who popped up to her opposite number, Vento, her first time up in the second. 8 runs, 5 hits, no errors for UMass Boston. 1 run, 1 hit, 6 errors for UMass Dartmouth as the count is 2-0. Chubbuck, Sheeran, and Soares due up here in the top of the 5th as that foul ball goes out of the reach of the third baseman, Bellotta. 2-1 the count. This is pop foul over the screen and out of play, and that evens the count at 2. Corsairs running out of outs. That is swung on and mishandled behind the plate by Vento, but she throws on to first to complete the strikeout. And just as I was talking about how we had only one strikeout by Corsair batters, today we get our second. Sierra Sheeran takes high, ball 1. Low for ball 2. Sheeran reached on a fielder's choice. Not on a fielder's reach on a strikeout on a wild pitch her first time up. Actually, that was the third strikeout, by the way, by Corsair batters, as that's a running catch by the shortstop Braga for out number 2. So that'll bring up Avery Soares, who scored the only Corsair run thus far back in the 3rd. UMass Boston needs 7 more outs. And this will be lined into left field for a base hit. So there is hit number 2 of the ball game. For the Corsairs. Avery Soares doing the bulk of the work. The bottom 2 batters in the order doing the carrying the offensive load. Soares and Major. Major had the RBI double her last time up, and that is down and in for ball 1. So Soares 1 for 2. Major wants to see if she can put one in the gap and bring her home a second time. And she drives this one into right field, but a sliding catch to her knees by the right fielder Paulina will end the inning. 4.5 gone by. UMass Boston hanging on to a 9-1 lead. DeCenzo fouls off the first pitch for strike 1, and I misspoke. It is 8-1 UMass Boston, not 9-1. I gave him credit for an extra run. So if UMass Boston scores 1 run here, the game will be over due to the mercy rule. Oh, 0-2 the count here, as this is skied foul and out of play. 0-2 the count to Tori DeCenzo, who walked and scored her last time up. Up and in, and that makes the count 1-2. Senzo 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Came around to score on Cassidy Guetta's big bases clearing double, and she skies this one into right center field, and it is gone! And that will do it! If ever there was a time for a walk-off home run when you're up 7, that'll do it, as UMass Boston puts on a clinic and eliminates the top seed and the host, UMass Dartmouth, by the score of 9-1. Now it is 9-1. Final totals 9 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Beacons, and 1 run, 2 hits, and 6 errors for the Corsairs. So UMass Boston stays alive with Plymouth State and Plymouth State and Eastern Connecticut coming up next. If Plymouth State wins that game, then it'll be Plymouth State versus UMass Boston for the Little East Conference Championship. If Eastern Connecticut wins, we'll have at least one more game after that. So, thanks for watching this presentation of the Little East Conference 2019 softball tournament here from UMass Dartmouth and Dartmouth, Mass. My name is Sam Feely. For Shea Carrera on camera, thanks for tuning in, and we will be back in a little while with Eastern Connecticut and Plymouth.